We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such. I know y'all tired of it, but we got a new season of The Pass. Welcome to season 8, the Mamba Year. Podcast available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of your podcast platforms. Here you'll get a dose of content related to tech, the productivity world, and most importantly, how to be a better you. The theme for this year, personally, is receiving grace. And we definitely want to do better with receiving it and being open to being a better us from who we were a year ago. So this is season 8 of The Pass, and I hope you all enjoy. So I didn't really know or wasn't sure if I was going to do this podcast or if I wanted to make this a podcast. However, I've sat with it. I've thought about it. I've taken some time to really sit back and do something a little different. And I would normally have gotten a room, done a recording, brought all my equipment, and made this into like an amazing production-based content of podcasting. But I don't want to do that. Instead, we're going to utilize the new equipment that I just got. And I'm going to talk to you all about something that, as I've been experiencing being part of it and experiencing not being part of it at times, I can tell you that when you do these things, they really do help. Now, I initially was going to do this I've already talked about this a little bit on TikTok, Instagram. I believe there's a Facebook video out there as well, talking about discipline, structure, and routine. The only thing that I'm not adding in or did not add in that I'm going to add into this specific recording is breathing or breath work. And the reason that I did not talk about it before is because I was able to realize how important it is to implement this into your day-to-day as well. So let's have a wholesome unpack and deep dive about these 3 phrases of these 3 words or 4 words. A lot of people in our lives, whether we think they do or not, lack discipline. And, we hear that term or we hear that phrase, but when we really sit down and think about it and really put ourselves in a position to be aware of it, it becomes a lot clearer that not everyone gets it the way that we get it. And here's why I'm saying that, or here's why I'm starting with that first. Discipline requires a lot of, for lack of a better term, a lot of sacrifice. And at times you really don't think about, or you're not considering how valuable it is to really lean into and to hone in on your proper ways of doing things. And this is why I'm starting with this first, because I really want to share with everyone in some way, shape, or form that when you become disciplined with certain things, you gain a lot from the discipline. Case in point, doing a lot of the exercising and the movement that I've been doing has really helped me become sharper with mobility and walking and exercising and health related things. If you were to have me do some of the things that I'm doing now over a year ago, I would not be able to do half of it. And to some, that may not sound like or may not seem like a lot, but the truth is, it's a lot. And you realistically don't realize it's a lot until you are paying attention to how important it becomes to, for lack of a better term, become one with doing these things. I am not the best when it comes to being disciplined about different things. An example of this, whether people believe it or not, is this podcast you all are listening to. All things considered, especially today, because I kind of have a pretty open schedule for it, but you should be getting today's show today. Now, if something happens, life is life, but I have really been observant of how there are times or there are instances where the recordings don't match the ambiance, meaning if the recording was done on the 23rd, it may not go up until the 28th, just because of how my days have started to kind of blend in or become more bombarding. This is where those other two words come into play. When you play structure, people get upset. And the reason that people get upset, as generic as it sounds, is because you as a person have control over how your day can or cannot go. And this is relevant and this is important because people are going, and I've seen this and I'm a true living witness to it. People are going to do the thing. And the thing that I'm referring to is they are going to come along and want to implement what they think you should be doing within your time frame when it's your time. And to be quite frank and to be quite direct, it's not a fair shake by a long shot. Some instances you have to be true to what you're intending to do and literally stay on plan and stay the course. Routines can also be very overwhelming to some people because in our life, whether we realize it or whether we claim it or not, we need to have certain things that are part of our routine, such as getting up, getting dressed, doing proper hygiene, having clothes prepared, having our work bag prepared, having a place for your keys. I forget the name of it, but a few months ago, it's probably been longer than that, but a while back I got introduced to a place to hold your keys. I guess you can call it, I guess it's a bowl they have on here. Like, I just looked up the term keys bowl, but I don't think that's what I called mine, or that's what I considered mine as. Because I got one at the beginning of the year. I had two, so I have two. I have one that I've used at home, which I love because when I get home, I know keys, wallet, earbuds, if necessary, all go into that space. Because when I'm ready to leave, I know that it's right there. Or if I have if I'm working, I know my badge needs to be there because I don't want to be looking around. Well, where's my badge? Where's this? Where's that? I had a similar one at work that I would carry with me. So when I got to my desk, I knew, okay, this is where I'm going to sit my stuff. This is where I'm going to do my work. You know, this is my things go here so I know where they are when it's time to leave. And it was very resourceful and very useful to use in its entirety. These are all things that are part of routine and part of simplifying the process, for lack of a better term. And you don't think that they make a big difference. But for instance, let's say with the key holder or the key accessory, if I place that accessory in, so right now I have it kind of in a different location, but by nature, a good place to put that would be the living room, because the living room, it's beside the door. I'll know to have those things to get them once I leave. I haven't done that because space, simplicity, convenience, the whole nine. Finding ways to simplify things in your day to day help out a long way, such as if you are using a bathroom to, let's say you're brushing your teeth, having your toothbrush, toothpaste, um, mouthwash, um, flosser, all in the same area helps a whole lot. That's why most men have like their little commonplace bag or their little, the man bag. You have those things available and you have those things in place to create a process, to create structure, to create good habits. Routines assist habits and also help to create healthy habits if you don't already have them available. The fourth one that I'm gonna share and I'm gonna talk about with this, and I'm gonna break this. I'm really gonna talk about this in depth because I have seen all sides of this where when you are doing these things, um, they help your journey and they help your path out tremendously. However, when you don't do them, there's a huge difference in things getting done or things not getting done. I have noticed over the years when I've put myself in a position to do insert thing here, it's helped me feel more productive and structured around what I needed to do or what I needed to take care of. For instance, I look at my calendar for the upcoming week and I have everything set and prepared the way that I needed to according to what I'm working on or what I need to get handled. And at times, others, and then, I've had people jokingly talk about this, but it's also an honest conversation. I've had people look at my calendar or look at how my day to day is, and they're like, you literally have everything written out to a T. And personally, I have to do that only for the sake of if I don't do it, my brain is not going to handle being aware that that thing needs to be done or whatever the case may be. Um, at times, it can be very challenging when you're not thinking about it in its moment, but in theory, you need to do it. Today, I might have talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in depth. I was introduced to a little discomfort in a good way because for a while, I've been able to kind of work through what I needed to work through, get my body, how I need to get my body to move, things of that nature. And the truth is, I'm very difficult when it comes to discomfort. There. That's the whole podcast. We can end it here and send y'all on y'all merry way. But I say all of that to say today was probably an eye opener in showing me how far I've come with working out, and I'm going to talk about the breathing part of it in a bit. But a young lady who came in, and I was in its moment, I didn't realize it or didn't understand it, but I literally made sense of it when I actually went and participated. Because at first, I was like, why am I being invited to this event? I'm not sure if I really want to go. I got other stuff I need to be doing. I could be chilling. It's Saturday, whatever. The owner of where I work out personally reached out to me and asked if I was going. And I said, you know what? I think I need this. So sure, let's do it. Now, this morning, I've already done my I'd already done my 3.5 mile walk for the day. So energy was kind of on like in between, but still had, a good amount in me to like, if I needed to make something happen, I can make something happen. Well, turns out it was good that I did go to this event. And the reason being is because I was able to really lean into just simple habits that my trainer, who happens to be my friend, was telling me, but I didn't think about how big of a deal they were until we got into this. And she gave quite a bit of information, and a lot of it I'm really looking to implement over the next couple of days. But she added in a part that I have probably been in and out of for the longest time. And that's mindset and breath work. Our mind is very powerful. And at times we don't realize how much power it really has because we're functioning through everything by nature in real time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But as shocking as it's going to sound, there is something wrong with that because we're not giving ourselves the proper mental stability to get through that which is in our day to day activity. I've probably been more active than I've been allowing myself the ability to just stop and breathe. Many times in life, we feel like we got to be in such a rush to do so much stuff. And, I talked with the young lady who did the course and I shared with her my story about everything that happened with me on a personal level. And the one thing that still sits in the back of my head, and it's the one thing that I still think about frequently and often because it's such a real thing, is how intense and how serious it is involving your not only your mindset but also your ability to breathe. And I am a huge breathing dopamine talker, to say the least. And I didn't realize how into it I was until I really took time and just made myself available for um for doing it. At one point I was very well known for I would sit, put my phone on do not disturb and meditate for like 10 minutes. The best 10 minutes ever. Um there's a brand that I found. Oh, yeah, we cutting that off because I don't need that to be going off while I'm recording. Um, I want to look this up because now that I've found this item, I really am pulled into it. I don't think it's the KonMari. It is. And when I share why this is important, it's going to make sense. It is called. Oh, they have it on sale. Come on, man. Never mind. They're going to send me to their site, and it's probably not going. It's probably going to be the regular price. So there's a website called Stolp, STOLP, and I think this brown one might be the one. So there's two variations of this, and I'm trying to, maybe I'm looking at this and not understanding what's what. But one version is just the box itself, and you can place your phone inside the box. And once you place it in this box, it blocks all phone signals. So 3 to 5G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, RFID, radiation, all cut off once you put your phone in this box. Now, this version looks good and it's a decent price. But since I've been on the site, they have one that's like a charger box that's not as. Oh, never mind. Now I see what happened. So the one that I've been looking at is sold out. So more people are buying the other one, the phone box. So let me. And if you add the charger, yeah. So the charge. Faraday cage designed for modern life in space, and Qi compatible wireless power bank built to instantly block all wireless signals, 3 to 5G, 4G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, RFD while charging your phone wirelessly. I'm curious if this is just the charger itself, because if that's the case, then that makes more sense. But when you look at what it shows in the bundle, and I'm going to share this link with you all because I want people to really look at this item. Of course, the other option always just hit airplane mode on your phone and it'll cut everything off. But alternatives are never a bad thing. I might have just come up with my own solution instead of, because the item is nice. I do like it, but I can save that money and just put my phone in airplane mode. But why I'm sharing that is because of wellness and mindset and mental well-being and digital well-being, and how important it is to, as much as people don't want to do it, how frequently we need to sometimes just unplug and disconnect. This is probably going to be the most unexpected place for me to share this news, but I'm going to share it with you all because many of you who listen to the podcast have been supportive. I recently got a new vehicle. I'm giving thanks for that. What I'm going to do, which will be a little unorthodox, is I will have an image of the vehicle be the cover art for the podcast. So now everyone who's on the podcast page will see what's been going on and see what's been happening, because I haven't really announced or talked much on it because I've needed to let things be what they were, and I also didn't want to put a lot of my personal out there if I didn't have to. But I say all of that to say that I'm really thankful to be in the position I'm in to get this moving in this direction. Like always, there's always more work to do,
but in the moment, I'm appreciative of it. Why I'm sharing this is I've had the car for about a week, and so far, my number one go-to, or my number one thing that I try to make sure I do more often, is breathing. So if I'm in the car and I have a moment, I just kind of sit, and I'm not as quick to be like, okay, let me get in the car and just run off and go somewhere. I'm like, let me get in the car, sit, enjoy the fact that I have an opportunity to sit and breathe, and then get to whatever it is that I'm working on. Going back to the three things, and I'm gonna end it here, because I know if I keep going, it could turn into like a whole deep dive. And I really want to deep dive this maybe in my year review a little bit more, but right now I just wanted to at least discuss it a little bit and also kind of give some insight. But discipline, structure, routine, breathing, meditation, I guess it's 5 now. So taking time and meditating, taking time and praying if you need to, allot that time for yourself. Taking time and breathing in between things that you're doing, or in between points that you feel or could possibly feel stressed, goes a long way, whether you realize it or not. Being open to discipline and being able to discipline others when they're not doing things that they're not supposed to do. And this isn't just children, this is also adults. Like, sometimes people need to be disciplined, and it forces them, whether they realize it or not, to be held accountable. Putting structure into your day goes a long way. Many people may or may not think about it, but I don't, I always say this constantly, I don't knock my freestylers. But the funniest thing is, and I've noticed this over the last couple of months, is everyone who's been on a freestyle boat have now started to plan more. And I'm not in a position to like point fingers or judge or say, oh, I'm doing it better than you, or not. It's none of those things. But it's also important to be aware of, if you can do something the right way and get the right thing done, it can help out tremendously. So I really want people to attach themselves into the position of having the right discipline and having the right mindset for the things that are happening, and not being caught up in the wrong, not having your mindset placed on the wrong things. And finally, routine. Setting up, creating, generating, starting to implement routines goes a long way. And I don't care how you feel about it, if you like it, don't like it, whatever, you'd be surprised. So just take your time today and really work through those things. And most importantly, I guess this will be number 6, slow down. The time and the moments and the opportunities to give yourself to just slow down and to just be in the moment could make such a huge impact on your life, whether you know it or not. So once again, discipline, structure, routine, breathing, meditation, slow down. Those are the 6 gems, or the 6 elements of surprise that I'm going to provide for you all today. And I'm going to leave it there. So until next time, and I promise y'all, before I finish, I want to say this, because I don't want this to seem like a thing. I will be sure and be certain to really get you all in better positions with more content for the podcast, because this is not my norm by a long shot. So we're going to make this all work, and we're going to make this all flow. So that's what I got for y'all, and that's where we're at. So let's make this thing happen, and we will be back to it again soon. You all take it easy. Truly hope you all enjoyed the show. Definitely was a lot to unpack, but I know you'll walk away with something important. As I share at the end of each season, do find your way to get into podcasting if it's something you would like to do. My podcasts are currently recorded via Buzzsprout.
been very good to me. If you want to learn more about using them, definitely hit me up at thepastbtpod@gmail.com. And also the microphone that you're hearing me on is the Blue Yeti X. Have been rolling with it for over 3 years. We've been doing this ride for quite some time, so I hope someone could find this mic useful. Again, find those people who are good or helpful in what you're trying to do to be better today than you were yesterday. The primary goal is to be 1% better. Hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll be back again to do this next time.